for the 2024 SSA Co-Ed 14-inch Mush Ball National Championship Tournament. We got the winner bracket championship. Now, the winner of this game does not win the tournament, but they do get to the championship game. Loser here can finish no worse than third, and it should be a pretty good ball game. We got Who's Got It versus Fat Kids. So this game's going to be starting in just a minute. It is co-ed mush. They got some different rules. It is a 1-on-1 count. You have to alternate your batting order, guy, girl. So you can only start 10 or start 12. You've got to alternate. You can't have more women than men. And here's the leadoff man for the Fat Kids, Alberto Magana, I should say, and he flips the fly ball into center. We do have a pretty strong wind blowing in from right field, and that ball kind of got out there and it just died, fell in front of the center fielder. You can see that flag in the background. Got a lot of wind, remnants of Hurricane Helene. So here's Thalia Quiones hitting second here, just underway. We will have the championship and if game later on tonight, and there's a high pop-up on the infield, and it's caught by the shortstop, Jeff Thielson. So that's the first out of the inning here, again, just underway, top of the first. Overcast, breezy, and cool here in the city of Chicago. And that's going to bring up Santos Macho Soto, and he drives it up the middle, and Alberto fell down, but he will score as he rounded third. Field's in good shape. They had a little bit of a drizzle here this morning, but field's in excellent condition. So 1-0, Fat Kids take the early lead here, and it's going to bring up Nicole. So this is a 14-inch mush ball. It's not very hard, and there's a little pop-up, and it's going to be over by the dugout. And again, with 1-on-1 count, she had 2 strikes. You can't hit a foul ball. So the players out here, there was not a delay at any point today. And here's Anthony Stacy, ground ball, and the shortstop can't make the play. And the Fat Kids all of a sudden got a couple of runners on here. Come on, Amanda. And it brings up Amanda. Let's go, Amanda. So this diamond there, we have not seen a ton of runs scored on it. Little ground ball over to Carly Okray in the dirt, scooped by the first baseman, and that'll be the third out. So Carly fielded it clean and just kind of spiked the throw, but a great job there by the first baseman, Kaylee Nevitt, to dig it out of the dirt. So they kind of lost track of the outs, did the Fat Kids, but 3 outs here. So they'll get that squared away. And coming up now for Who's Got It, Nick Casano, Carly Okray, and Chaz Nevitt. So we got a couple of Nevitts in the ball game. No, just one, my bad. And so the players have been troopers today, early morning. We started up at 8:30 today, and it was kind of a little bit of a damp start. A couple of raindrops throughout the day, but it's dry now, and hopefully it won't be a problem the rest of the night out here. And of course, tomorrow we'll be at the Los Parachos Neighborhoods United tournament up in Hamlin, so we'll be out there tomorrow showing you some of that action. course, after the championship game, we'll have the trophy and the MVP presentation, I believe. I don't know if they're giving an MVP. And there's a little ground ball fielded by the shortstop, and he stayed right with it and made a nice play there. So Macho Soto takes care of the leadoff man, Nick Casano, and it brings up Carly Okray, who runs the team. So we'll have that for you, and of course in a couple of weeks we'll be out in Las Vegas for the SSA Las Vegas Big Ball Getaway Tournament. We'll be out there live streaming a little bit.
There you go, baby, there you go.
And of course whenever Steve Rodriguez gets his Los Barachos indoor season going at Intentional Sports, we'll be covering that. Carly hits a sinking line drive caught by the center fielder as he came in, slid down on a knee and made the catch. So with this wind howling in, we've already seen it's affected the mush ball quite a bit. And again, this ball is soft. You can see the guys are not wearing mitts, and the women have the option. And there's a swing and a hard ground ball. Short center got a glove on it, but can't make the play. So Chaz Nevitt finds himself on base with 2 outs here, and it brings up Steph Cousineau.
Get back, Steph.
Let's get out of here.
So again, when the wind's blowing in and affecting things, you want to make sure you're playing good solid defense. And Steph takes that pitch, and you can see Chaz trying to kind of cheat with his leadoff over here. And there she sweeps it, but the center fielder comes hustling in and makes the catch. So good job that half inning by the center fielder. It's got a couple of good reads. Made a couple of nice plays. So we'll head to the top of the second, 1-0 Fat Kids. And so they do have some unique rules. It is 60 feet. You can lead off, but you can't steal. 38 from the rubber to the point of home plate. 6-12 on the arc. 2 fakes or hesitations. Third arm action, you need to deliver the ball to the plate. And no fences, so it's going to be all you can get. Can't hit a foul ball with 2 outs. Your batting order has to be staggered, which means it's got to be guy, girl, guy, girl. So if you start 10, you got to be 5 and 5. You can go 11, but then you would need to have 6 girls, only 5 guys. And if you go 12, it's got to be 6 and 6. So here's Trey Johnson leading off, and he punches it way foul down the left field line for strike 2. And I believe you get 2 courtesies only. And a girl needs to be a courtesy for a girl and a guy for a guy. Last batted out. So Trey Johnson on the reset. And Trey punches it toward the alley, and it's going to drop. Big aggressive turn, but he'll come back. Ball skips past the short center. Trey Johnson ends up on second. So again, we've seen a lot of that, especially in right field. The outfield is playing a little too deep, and we've seen a lot of balls hit the other way that have a little topspin to them, and they're just dying out there.
Woo!
So here's Ariana
I was thinking the same thing.
with Scott Gates on deck.
Nobody there. Come on, put it in play. Put it in play.
And there's a little spinner. Mark Holstein off the mound, throw to first, and they do get him. So Mark throw almost pulled the first baseman off the bag,
Bring him home,
but Kaylee Nevitt stayed with it. kept that foot on the base. So here's the center fielder, Scott Gates, high pop up, and the third baseman right by the screen makes the catch for the second out. And here's Izzy Molina. So if you're who's got it, you'd like to get out of this inning with
Come on, Ish, we got a run waiting for you.
only the one-run deficit. And there's a little soft liner. Third baseman handles it. And after an inning and a half, the score remains 1-0. And again, a lot of times in these co-ed tournaments, your success is really geared toward how well your female players perform, because most of these teams have, and a lot of them have got guys that have played a lot of 16-inch softball throughout their careers, and you expect your guys to maybe play at a certain level. And the teams that really tend to have the greatest success are those teams with the really talented females. So here's Mark Holstein, then it'll be Becca Kavanaugh and Jeff Thielsen, also known as Hooch. And, you know, you've got guys that play on major or high-level A teams in this ball game. Anthony Stacy, of course, a part of the flashback team. Mark Holstein, longtime 45, signature. And there's a little flare the other way, and it's fair. And Mark is going to jog in with a stand-up lead-off double. So good start here for the Who's Got It team. So again, both these teams have gone clean up to now. And whoever wins will certainly have an advantage because they'll be in the championship game. And there's a little ground ball to the right side. Second baseman, nice play. And that'll be out number one. She does push that runner over to third. And it'll bring up Jeff Thielsen. So Jeff's job here is to get that run in. And there's a sky-high fly ball. Worst case scenario, it'll score the run. Right fielder made the catch, tried to throw on the run, but that'll be way late, 1-0, as Who's Got It cashes in the leadoff double, and they tie the game at 1. What's up, Greg? How are you? Of course, Greg runs the F-Town team out in Iowa. They had a very nice season. And that brings up Maddie Trost, the catcher. And that pitch a little deep. And there's a high spinner, little basket catch. But in the inning, Who's Got It ties the game at 1. Will head to the top of the third. And it will be the top of the Fat Kid lineup. Alberto Magana, Thalia Quiones, and Santos Macho Soto. So both these teams having a good tournament so far. Of course, the live stream is being powered by Gold Rush Gaming. So here's Alberto. And he swings and he crushes a humpback into center. Center fielder on it quickly, and they hold Alberto to a single. So here's Thalia Quiones. And she hits a line drive. Holstein can't make the catch. They're going to get the fielder's choice and the double play. So Mark Holstein, little ankle biter, couldn't make the catch. Alberta was in no man's land, didn't know whether to run or stay. It looked like Thalia kind of didn't run hard out of the box right away, thinking Mark was going to make the catch. And good throw to second, and Carly Okray poured it over for the double play, and there's a flare down the opposite way, foul ball. That would have been big trouble. He inside-outed it, and with that cross breeze howling in from right, pushed it foul. So Macho will reset here with 2 strikes.
Macho!
1-1 ball game. Winner's going to play for a national championship. Loser will still be in the tournament, but they'll have to win the get-back game in order to get there. And there's a little spinner toward third, and it is going to roll just fine. Oh, I think it clipped the bag.
That's it, baby, that's it.
So she was going to let that ball roll foul, and it would have, except it scraped the third base bag, and once it hits the bag and goes into foul territory, it's a fair ball. So Macho gets on base. It'll look like a line drive in the book. And now they're talking about it. I think it clipped the bag because it certainly didn't go beyond the bag. So if it didn't touch the bag and rolled foul, it might have bounced over the base. And because it hit in fair territory, it can bounce over third base. It doesn't have to land in fair territory if the umpire feels it went over the base. So here's Nicole, a little spinner foul.
Never seen that before.
So with the runner on second base here, Fat Kid's a chance to get back in front, and she leans on it. Right fielder, Wynn just killed it, and that'll be the third out. So little 2-out crazy double. They can't do nothing with it. And we're going to head to the bottom of the third, where it'll be Joe Aroni, Kaylee Nevitt, and then the top, Nick Casano. So got a low-scoring game here, to say the least. I see Uncle Joe chiming in, Joe Polito. So wherever you're at, we're glad you could take a little time out from your Saturday college football watching to tune in and join us. So first time we've seen Joe in the ball game and he drives it to left field. Going back is Trey Johnson, and he makes a little over-the-shoulder catch and then tried to get fancy and backhanded to the infield, and he threw it to the playground. So first out of the inning, Joe gave it a good ride, but again, into a cross breeze. The ball may get a little help if you hit it hard down that left field line a little bit, but I would think anywhere from left center field over to the right field line isn't going to be helped too much. No, Rico, this is the winner bracket championship. We'll have the actual first championship game at 7:30 tonight, if game would follow that. And there's a little slow roller, and Anthony will pick it up and flip it to first, and that'll be out number 2.
Two dead.
So who's got it has, in a sense, up to this point, been fortunate. They haven't really generated a ton of opportunity, but they did execute as they got a leadoff double, pushed them to third, and then scored them. Fat Kids have already spun their lineup and have had 14 hitters to 11 for who's got it. So here's Casano, little ground ball up the middle. Macho Soto catch fires to first for the third out of the inning. So we head to the fourth, still knotted at 1.
Go, guys!
So coming up here for the Fat Kids, it's going to be Anthony Stacy, Amanda Uridales, and Trey Johnson. So good part of the lineup here for the Fat Kids to maybe try to take a lead. Both teams have been, up to this point, solid defensively. So here's Stacy, a little overhand cut swing, and he drops it in front of Casanos
Go, baby!
for a leadoff single. So here comes Amanda. And she swings and misses. It almost looked like she was trying to slap and run there, but swung through. Now she'll have to put the ball in play. She gets a high pitch, a little flare, and Carly Oakley can't get there. Center fielder, now the throw to third, wide, and that's going to let Amanda hustle into second. So Carly Oakley was going back. Realistically, you want your center fielder to take charge there and to make that play. Then the ball skipped past. Accurate throw, would have had the runner, and now Trey Johnson unloads. Right fielder makes the catch. One in, one moves over.
Gotta run!
So the Fat Kids push across their second run. Trey Johnson making sure there. Brings up Ariana.
Get it to second base. Let's go.
One out only. And they're squeezing her on the infield. And she pops it up on the infield, and second baseman can't make the play. Everybody's safe. And I believe they called Amanda out at third. Second baseman couldn't make the play. He was running toward home plate with the ball. Amanda got a little too far off of third. He threw behind her, and they get an out. So here's Scott Gates. And we'll see if that turns out to be a big play later on. And there's a rocket off the third baseman. Pitch to second, and they get the force out. So a lot of action there for the Fat Kids, but they only push one across. They take a 2-1 lead. So Gates hit a missile off the third baseman. Becca Cavanaugh rolled right over to Thielsen. And Jeff underhanded it to second for the fielder's choice there. So good awareness there. And some good defense by Who's Got It to get out of that inning with only one run. So 2-1 ball game here. Fat Kids leading as we head to the bottom of the fourth. So halfway through, 2-1. So it's going to be 2-3-4, Carly Oakley, Chaz Nevitt, and Steph Cousineau. Anybody gets on, Mark Holstein. You might remember Carly from a few years ago at this tournament. There's a sky-high pop-up. Macho Soto makes the play for out number one. Carly did our live intro to the game. It's going to bring up Chaz Nevitt. And there's a little flare, and that ball's going to be out of play. So two strikes on Chaz Nevitt.
Hey, two strikes.
So a lot of action, but not a lot of runs so far. And Chaz, a little overhand cut job, and center fielder on a dead sprint closed a lot of ground there and takes a hit away. Tell you, this Scott Gates has been covering a lot of ground in center, and he's taken a couple of hits away. Trey Johnson was in the neighborhood, but he would have had to make some type of a sliding catch. And Steph Cousineau takes a pitch there. And there's a little ground ball. Great play by the short center, but she airmails the throw. Short center covered a lot of ground, got to it, threw on the run, and just airmailed it over to first baseman. So 2-out base runner for Mark Holstein. Mark's last time up, he led off with a double the opposite way. And they are playing Mark relatively deep. And Mark, a line drive off of Stacy, got his hands up in time. Ball stayed right there for him, and he makes the play. So we head to the fifth in a very snappy ball game, 2-1 Fat Kids. And how many times do we see it? A guy who makes a great play. We'll see who's leading off here. I thought it was supposed to be Anthony Stacy. I could be wrong. No, it's Izzy Molina. And then it'll be Alberto and Thalia. So Fat Kids 2-1 here. And there's a swing, and Hooch got his hands up and didn't make the play. And Izzy Molina finds herself on base. Ball wasn't hit that high. Hooch got up. He got two hands on it, just didn't make the catch.
Where's the first base coach?
And we got to keep an eye on that, too, and see if that potentially leads to a run here. As Alberto's hit the ball very well. And now you put a base runner. Now home plate jumping around on Mark Holstein. And if you walk a guy, you're going to see it right here. You walk a guy, the girl behind him automatically can take the walk. And now with nobody out, bases loaded. So that's going to magnify the non-play there by Hooch at short. And it brings up Macho Soto. So in a 2-1 ball game here, who's got it's going to have to look for a Houdiniac, and that's not a deep fly ball. Long run. Right fielder made the play, did not even look. Now they got Alberto hung up. And he ran it. They called the runner out. Looked like Becca Kavanaugh might have tagged him with the glove, but I think the umpire said that the base runner was out of the baseline trying to avoid the tag, but a run does score. It is 3-1, but a very unconventional double play, and that's a great job on the rundown. Becca Kavanaugh did not throw the ball quickly. She forced Alberto to run full bore toward third, and Chaz Nevitt. So again, a lot of stuff going on for the Fat Kids, but they only score one. So like I was saying, Becca Kavanaugh made sure that the runner was going back with momentum, so he just couldn't stop and then turn around and go right to third. She ran him a good distance and ran him down. So we head now to the bottom of the fifth, 3-1 Fat Kids. And it's going to be Becca Kavanaugh, Hooch, and Maddie in this inning. We've seen Becca for a few years now. Just a very good softball player. It's amazing how many of the women that play co-ed Mush all played 12-inch, whether it was high school, college, or both. And we really see a lot of them are just extraordinarily good. And there's a strike.
Come on, Anthony.
So the error does come back to haunt Who's Got It. And there's a ground ball. Third baseman Nicole had a little trouble with it. And the leadoff hitter reaches. So Nicole got there, put the glove down, just couldn't catch it. And Who's Got That down by a deuce here. And Fielson hammers it in front of Gates. Becca Kavanaugh will get to third. So we've seen a couple of base running mistakes by the Fat Kids that may have cost them a run or two. And Who's Got It just kind of hanging around, and that brings up Maddie. With Joe Aroni on deck. And she hits a little ground ball up the middle, short center, a fumble. They do pitch and get the fielder's choice, I believe. But now we got runners on the corner with one out for Joe Aroni. So it looked like the short center just rushed a little bit.
Let's go. Let's get more outs. Let's go.
In her haste to catch, step, and throw, she did have the wherewithal to pitch it for the fielder's choice. And Aroni, a little short flare. Scott Gates is there. The runner tags. She doesn't go. Now it gets away from the catcher. Scott Gates threw an absolute missile. Catcher waved on it, but it hit a pole and rolled right back to her. Runner on first did tag and go to second. Base hit here could potentially tie the game, although they are squeezing Kaylee Nevitt in the outfield. And Kaylee Nevitt, little spinner, so after the first two hitters reached, they can't do anything with it. We'll head to the top of the sixth, 3-1. So it looks like it's going to be Anthony Stacy, Amanda, and then Trey Johnson here in the top of the sixth. Nail biter here. Some poor base running costing the Fat Kids a couple of runs and allowing Who's Got It to stay in the ball game. So this is the part of the lineup. They did score a run the last time Anthony led off.
Come on, Anthony.
If you're Who's Got It, you're just kind of trying to stay in the game. And great play in left field there. Nick Casano came in, a little sliding catch for out number one. Brings up Amanda.
Come on, Amanda.
And there she spanks it the other way, but Nick Casano's having a busy inning. Gets there and makes the play for out number two.
Come on, Trey.
So 2 outs. Trey Johnson tried to go big to right field last time up. He gave it a decent ride. Was caught, but it did score a run. And there's a spinner, and Mark Holstein makes the play. So the last 2 half innings have ended on little soft pop-ups to the pitchers. So we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
3-1. So who's got it in desperate need of some offense? It's going to be the top of their lineup, Nick Casano, Carly Ocre, and Chaz Nevitt.
Go, Anthony.
Let's go defense. Hey, top here, top.
So if you're who's got it, depending on what you do this inning, you may not get back to your top again. And ideally, they just been hanging around here. If you're who's got it, you'd like to push 3 or 4 across and then go into the 7th and try to hang on. And now they're going to make a replacement as Luke Lowry is going to go into left for Trey Johnson. Luke, a young kid, pretty talented. He started playing with the Fat Kids at the end of this year. Former Los Baracho guy. And there's a little ground ball, and Amanda makes the play. So we've seen Amanda play third at times, and she showed you she can play second. She charged that ball real nicely, made the play to get Nick Casano. And I'll bring up Carly Ocre. And it looked like that was called a strike. And there's a little ground ball to third. Nicole comes in, spikes the throw, can't make the play. And there's a one-out base runner for who's got it. And Nicole caught it good, just spiked the throw. First baseman couldn't dig it out. And it brings up Chaz Nevitt.
Let's get 2. Let's get 2.
And there's a rocket. Luke Lowry, this might be a 2-run homer if it's fair. It is. Nevitt is hustling. He's going to get to third, and they're going to send him. The ball gets away. Chuck Nevitt hit an absolute bomb over Luke Lowry. It looked like they didn't know if they were going to send him, but the throw from Lowry got over the cutoff man. And all of a sudden, we're tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 6th for Steph Cousineau.
Let's go. Let's get the rest. Let's go.
And again, that's why we were talking about the Fat Kids, a couple of base running mistakes and leaving a couple of runs on the table. Just kind of letting who's got it hang in there.
Come on, Ant.
And now Anthony Stacy, you don't want to put a runner on little ground ball to Amanda.
That a girl, Amanda.
She stayed down on it, made her second play of the inning.
Let's go.
2 outs now for Mark Holstein. So we were talking about the one place on the field the ball might carry was going to be that left field line. And Chaz Nevitt hit that ball hard right down the left field line. The only question was whether the wind might push it foul, but it landed in fair territory. And we're all tied.
Come on, Anthony.
And Holstein goes the other way. That's going to drift out of... No! Luke Lowry caught the ball and then tumbled over the fence. And then he popped right back over. To be young again. So Luke Lowry... Great catch right by the screen. I thought it was going to get out of play. He caught it basically leaning over the fence a little bit, and with his momentum, took him right over the fence. But we're all tied at 3 as we head to the top of the 7th. And it's going to be Ariana, Scott Graves, and Izzy, the bottom third of the lineup. If you're looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be 6, 7, 8 coming up for who's got that. And if we're tied, I think they might be using the international rule, which is they put a runner on second base. And there's a little ground ball. Holstein makes the play for out number 1. And it brings up Scott Gates. And I tell you, I haven't really seen Scott Gates, but he's very fast. Looks like he's got a good arm, tall kid. Question is, will we see him on a 16-inch field? And he hits a wicked knuckleball in front of Casano. Nick, good job there. He got big and made sure it didn't skip past him. 1 out single. And it brings up Izzy Molina. Albert Magana on deck. Unless they get a double play here. And there's a little soft pop-up. Casano can't make the catch. Tried to one-hand it. Couldn't quite get there. And he almost pulled a Luke Lowry and almost went over that short fence over there. So 2 strikes now. So Mark wanted the first baseman to maybe get by the bag to shorten Gates' lead. And there's a little slow roller. Becca Cavanaugh makes the play, the throw across. Not in time. Gates gets to third with 2 outs. Good job there by Hooch to circle behind Becca and go to the bag. Gates was running hard all the way and made it pretty easily. And here's Alberto Magana. Now, if you wanted to walk Alberto, the female would walk. That would only load the bases if you wanted to pitch to Thalia instead. But they're going to pitch to Alberto, and he's been having a pretty good 14-inch season. And Hooch or somebody may have mentioned that to Mark. And there's a chopper, and they're going to get out of the inning with no runs. Now we head to the bottom of the 7th. Any kind of a run wins the game for who got it.
Go defense, guys.
So who got it tied it in the bottom of the 6th. They held serve in the top of the 7th, and now all of a sudden they got a chance to win the ball game. Again, Becca Cavanaugh leading off, Jeff Thielson, Maddie Trost. Anybody gets on will be Joe Aroni.
Yeah, big stop here, big stop.
Let's get the first one.
As this game has really been flying by here.
Come on, Anthony.
And there's a strike. Again, you don't want to walk the leadoff man. And Becca Cavanaugh, hard ground ball, long throw. This time Nicole made sure she got herself squared away. She took a step and threw right on the money. Leadoff man down, and it brings up Jeff Thielson.
Come on in.
And they're playing Hooch kind of deep. Hooch is more of a line drive, right center to left center, kind of humpback over the infield type of a hitter. And there he goes. That's what he does. And Gates now a little fumbled, but not enough for Hooch to decide to go to second on that. So here in the bottom of the 7th, they put the potential winning run on first base.
Force that 2.
For Maddie Trost.
Come on, Anthony.
With Joe Aroni
Boy, let's go.
on deck. And that pitch just a little inside. Anthony Stacy wanted it. And there's a little ground ball. Stacy to the short center. And they can't make the play at first, so the inning will continue.
Two dead, two dead.
Short center had a little more time, but she threw a sinker right into the ground there. And they'll give Joe Aroni a chance here with 2 outs. The runner will be running on the swing. And you can lead off. Now she's going to finally get off of the base here a little bit. And there's a little flip into right field as he walks the dog, and she's going to try to go to third. The throw, not in time. And they're going to send the base runner back to first because Nick Casano, coaching third, made no effort to get out of the way. What the umpire is telling him is you got to make an effort to get out of the way there. He just stood there. He's not a base runner. You just can't stand there and watch the ball hit you. And that's exactly what he did. He stood firm and watched the throw come in and look down and let it hit him. And what the umpire is saying is it's one thing if you're oblivious and you get hit. It's another thing if you stand there intentionally. It wouldn't have mattered because the winning run is at third anyway. And Kaylee Nevitt, if she reaches safely, will end the ball game. And there's a little high pop-up, and Amanda's there. We'll go to the 8th, all tied at 3.
Let it go, Amanda.
So we'll see if they have any kind of a...
Let's go.
If they use that international rule, it is extra innings. And again, I think Nick Casano was trying to be a little too cute there. He was just going to stand there and let the ball hit him. And the umpire said, no, you can't do that, whether you're a coach or not. Can't watch the ball come all the way in and just let it hit you. So top of the 8th, apparently they're not using the Calo. Yeah, here you go, Alberto Magana.
Second base.
Should be the last out. So whoever made the last out should be at second, I believe. They're going to square that away. So Alberto Magana, good speed, going to be at second base.
Come on, Chulo!
And all of these teams played in our event last year, and they did not change the rules. But they don't see a lot of extra inning games, so Francisco Arenas is going to go get that straightened out. And this is not unusual. I believe they did that at Melrose Veterans Park District's co-ed tournament. And it's an interesting situation because if you are Thalia Quiones, your job is to make sure you get that runner to third.
What happened?
And of course, this was, I believe, all in the rule packet that all the managers got sent to them. And I know in the Melrose Park, Veterans Park District tournament, I think they started full count. So everybody panics over it, but the rules are the same for everybody. So it is a full count. So if you're a pitcher, the pressure's on, and she does her job. She gets the runner to third, and they get the bonus. And now Magana scores, and now the runner's going to go to second. Safe. So who's got it? A little loss of concentration. Nevitt came in, and he just didn't handle it. And it is a full count, and the interesting thing there, it worked out, but looked like Thalia swung at what would have been a ball, and there's a ground ball, and Nevitt, rough start to the inning for him, as the second ball hit right at him. The first one was a tough play. He had to come a long way. So Soto is on. Brings up Nicole, 4-3. Runners on the corner, nobody out. And again, with a full count here. And there's a little ground ball. This time it's handled, but another run scores. And we got our biggest lead tied here at 2, 5-3. Fat Kids led early, 3-1. Another run on second base now for Anthony Stacy. It's a high fly ball to center. Center fielder makes the catch, throws it in.
It only kills the body that's in the spot.
Go, Amanda!
And that's 2 outs, and it brings up Amanda. So right at the start of this inning, it looked like who got it was a little distracted over the rules, and Amanda just slaps a hit and scores the 6th run.
Way to go, girl!
So Amanda, doing it with the glove and the stick, drives in another run, and they double up who's got it, 6-3. And again, 2 of these runs via the error, and it brings up Luke Lowry. And Luke hits a ball towards center. Center fielder can't make the catch. And something happened to the center fielder. Amanda's going to score. Luke Lowry's going to score. And a little flare in the center turns into 2 runs. So the center fielder looked like she was going to get there. She put the glove out but didn't make the catch. And all of a sudden, 8-3. Who's got it was playing terrific defense up until this 8th inning. Here's Nicole. And there's a little short hop, Thielsen, and they get the out at first.
Let's go, defense!
So crazy little ball game as they throw 5 across in the first. So Fat Kids right now looking very good in their bid to get to the national championship game.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
Not yet, Matt. This is the winner bracket championship game. 7:30 will be the actual first national championship game with whoever comes out of the losers bracket. Who's got it, should this score hold, will be in that get-back game. And there's strike 3. So Nick Casanos didn't like the call. Again, here in extra innings, the international rule kind of with a twist because it's a full count. Here's Carly Okrie, and she hit a humpback, but right at Luke Lowry, down to their last out now. And it's up to Chaz Nevitt to keep the game alive. Last time up, he airmailed a 2-run bomb over Luke Lowry and left. So pretty good ball game.
go, guys. Let's go.
Fat Kids, I think, got lucky. And he does not keep the game alive. So the Fat Kids will be playing for a national championship at 7:30. Against who? We'll find out. So join us for that.